One of the first questions I ask our guests on the 5-minute salute is how they became a member of our nation's military. Well, I became a member of our nation's military by completing the officer candidate program of the United States Marine Corps in 2008. So my service story is a little bit different than most other people. Usually OCS is completed right after college. Someone will graduate from college and either through ROTC or some other method go into officer candidate school, and then they'll commission as a second lieutenant. So I did not do that. I had heard about the Marine Corps and knew about the officer commissioning program my sophomore year of college. I was, like everyone else was on, it was one of those big days where everyone's in the quad and there's a bunch of organizations out there. And I saw this guy in a Marine Corps uniform and didn't know what they were about, was just walking past, and he showed me this brochure, and on this brochure were women Marines. And I don't think I had ever saw a woman Marine before that point. Obviously I'd seen Full Metal Jacket. There were no female Marines or no women Marines that I remember in the movie Full Metal Jacket. And I have a mentor that doesn't like for me to tell the story, but I had saw Full Metal Jacket as like an 8-year-old kid, and I saw that with my stepfather. And even though there were no women Marines, featured in that film, I'd said since I was 8 years old, I want to be a Marine. Totally had forgotten about it. Saw this brochure in college, and that is when I first said that I wanted to be wanted to become a Marine officer, not just a Marine. I really wanted to do the officer commissioning program. But at that time, I already had a daughter. And so when I graduated from college, my daughter was only 5. And I didn't want to leave her at 5 years old. Just so happened our nation went into war. We were fighting multiple wars, and they were asking for people who were able-bodied, and honorable to become officers in the Marine Corps. So that's when I, actually submitted my application. I was working at the Walgreen Corporation at that time. So I actually had 6 years in the corporate environment before I ever submitted my application for the Marine Corps. And it's kind of funny because when I went to the Marine Corps, what we call officer selection officer at that time, the office, there was a gunny that was there, and I told him, hey, I'd like to, I like to join. I want to become an officer, Marines, and then I said, well, how much are you guys going to give me to pay off my student loans? And he was like, we don't pay for student loans. And I was like, what? He said, we don't pay for student loans. You want your student loans paid, you go to the Army, you go to the Navy, go wherever you want to go. But if you're going to be a Marine, we're not paying for, we don't give officers money toward their education. And I was like, what a bummer. So really, I guess I should take a step back. I had my 30th birthday, and I had my 30th birthday party, so many, like 15 or 17 friends and family, we all flew over to Vegas. I did not enjoy Vegas. Vegas was not an environment for me. So a couple cousins and I, we went out to Lake Mead. I think it was Lake Mead. And we were sitting around at the lake, just playing. They were playing in the water, and I was sitting on the edge of the water. And I heard God very clearly ask me, he said, what is it that if you don't complete by the time you're 40 years old, you'd be disappointed if you didn't at least try? And without hesitation, I said, I would, the Marine Corps. I always wanted to go into the Marine Corps. Never did go. I guess if I don't do it by the time I'm 40, I'd be really disappointed. When I came home from that trip, that was in August, is when I went to the officer selection station, and I asked, what do I need to do to become an officer, a Marines? And he made the statement about, there not being any money for college. So I went back and I talked to God, and I said, hey, I really, really want to go into the Marine Corps. But they're not going to give me any money for college. I had $42,000 in student loan debt. And I'm like, there's no way I would go into the military and not have my education paid for. So God, if you really want me to go, you will make it possible for me to get, my education paid for. Completely forgot about it. A couple months rolled by. I get a phone call from this gunny. I'm at Walgreens, and I, thank you for calling Walgreens. How can I help you? Not quite like that, but you know what I'm saying. But he called and he said, hey, he doesn't know what happened, but for the first time in the history of the Marine Corps, they're going to pay off the student loans of those that are coming into the Marine Corps. But it was only going to be this one class, and it was actually my class, OCS 198.